On payment of bills, we do have an approval list. From the general fund of $379,565.87. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Motion by Mrs. Zelinski, seconded by Mrs. O'Hara. Discussion. Just on the discussion, I know that it's going back and forth, and the finance director isn't here. But I did make mention of it to her. Some of these things are not coming out of the general fund; they are coming out of bond money, and as such, in the future, we need to approve them individually. We can approve them tonight because the work has been done, and they've all been signed off. We have all the sign off on them, but it does take 2 actions to do that, just so that everyone is aware of that.
So
They thought it was done twice. It was already in the payment of bills, but we should have been taking those actions. But in essence, we're taking that action by approving the payment of bills. We do have all the sign-offs on it. In the future, we will see it. We will see it twice. So we got a motion and a second. Any other discussion? Hearing none, roll call vote.
Mrs. Bartoli?
Yes.
Mrs. O'Hara?
Yes.
Mr. O'Hara?
Yes.
Mrs. Zelinski?
Yes.
Mr. Vadenais?
Yes. Old business, next item, discussion by council for other action on municipal building review task force. So we need, I do have no update, but I do want the record to show that at the last meeting there were some statements that were made, and I think they just need to be clarified because it was the way they were stated. There might have been some miscommunication maybe. That the bonds were actually sold in June of 2016, not by this board, not by the previous council, by previous council. That's when the bonds were actually sold on that project. And all of the bids that were submitted were also rejected by that same council. 2 councils ago. Not new actions were done by this council. And lastly, no funds have been expended on the annex project other than bridging documents. That's the only funds that have been expended on that. No other funds. It's not like we spent $2.5 million. We haven't spent anything on the annex, just so that everyone is clear on that, so that it stayed the way it was going around. It seemed like when we spent that money, we haven't spent. Nobody spent the money on that. So just want to clear up those 3 things. Any other questions, comments?
Yeah, while we're on that topic, Mr. President, so if we could be provided with an updated building, the bond expenditures, how much, I'd like to see it on sheet of paper. Make it easy for me, I'm not a CPA. But if you look at building bond and expenditures, probably outstanding payments that are due. I was trying to make notes and then I saw that it did change some, not this bond.
Yeah.
I'm trying to follow what has changed, what not.
Yeah, those other things are school bonds.
Yeah, I got it.
Which is a different bond.
So,
but we're working on that.
okay, so
we're trying to get our arms around it too. We're at that point where we're doing closeout on it right now. We're getting a punch list.
Yeah.
So we're not, we can't be able to start doing a number where we'll have a good idea of where we stand.
Okay, I'd like to know what expenditures today, what's outstanding left, and also do it by category. Make it easy for me to follow. I would appreciate that. So how does that request? What do we need to take a vote? Or is it going to be provided?
No, we'll provide it by question. We'll provide it.
Okay, thanks.
We'll sit down with the finance director.
Yeah, appreciate this. Email it to me.
Okay.
Thanks.
Next item, discussion by council for other action. Mike Debroisse, Vice President, Board of Directors, High Rocks Condominiums, on obtaining trash collection at the condominium located at 1 Tupperware Drive. Mr. Pendergast.
Good evening. We've met several times, most recently with Mike at the site. Our present vendor, Mega Disposal, still has issues with how this is going to transpire. So a suggestion, and I use that word suggestion wisely, is that they retain as a subcontractor of ours, which we are not entered into this agreement as of this fiscal year, Valley Disposal is picking up the trash now. They have the resources to do this. As I've said to the administrator, this project brings curbside pickup to a different way. It's a very difficult situation. They have finally given me some numbers. If we were to go down the road of using Valley disposal, and these are on the high side, which I would budget myself on the high side, not a low side. And that would be my recommendation to the administrator and the finance director, that we're talking a monthly charge of $1,766.75. And that's based on 5 containers being picked up. Now, in discussions with Mike, we've discussed there could possibly be 2 containers picked up or 3 containers picked up. The issue we have, or Mega has, is the liability of the pickups at this location. A suggestion has been a compactor, which would be an expense that High Rocks would have to take on to make that pickup easier for Mega in the future if we do extend our contract, our present contract, into the future with automated trash and recycling pickup. This is not an easy question and answer situation. This isn't like we're adding 2 houses on North Main Street. This is an apartment complex, which are condos, 128 units. There's a time that these people have to go into this room and take out the containers, and it's not easy. So I feel like I'm being rushed into giving a question and answer and a recommendation for this. And are people paying taxes? Yes, they are. Are they entitled to services? I'm sure they are, as we all are. I don't want to make the wrong decision here, and I don't want to make a recommendation to you with the wrong suggestion. And in fairness to this complex, I don't want to do that either. It just feels that I feel like every month or every 2 weeks I'm up against the gun to give some type of an answer. We haven't even finalized our new bid and contract going into July 1st. So I've spoken to the administrator. I'm not comfortable. My budget doesn't call for this expenditure. I'm not saying I'm not in agreement of this. I'm not in agreement of paying anything extra out of my budget right now up to June 30th. I feel that we can work something out. I just think that maybe we need a little bit of time here to work this out and not feel, I feel like I'm under the gun with this company. So that's the number I was asked to get. That's the number that I have. I've explained to Mike that that's on the high side. It could be $1,300 a month. In any event, it's an expenditure I don't have until July 1st.
What you're saying is that Mega would hire Valley Disposal.
As a subcontractor
Like
to
this
them on the
subcontract.
road. Exactly.
And then they would charge us for that service.
Right.
An upcharge for that
And there would
service.
be disposal fees, and we're all aware of how the situation transpires. A lot of ifs in this right now.
So Mega does not have the equipment to do this pickup.
Presently, they do
Presently,
not.
they do not.
Correct.
That's the issue. So Mega would have to hire an outside third party, so to speak, to do that work.
As they have the situation right now with the cots that they have. For Mega to do that, that would be a liability to their workers, which they will not do. It's not even a question. They said they will not do it. So the easy solution was have their present person Valley continue, but work under our cap and under our vendor.
Any other questions?
I'm not sure I'm even following this, right? You gotta bear with me. If you're
I'm not
confused,
following.
you're not confused, you're just trying to do the right thing. I'm confused. So, Valley currently picks up the recycles and trash over there, is that correct?
No, they pick up the trash.
Just
We pick up the
trash.
recycling.
Okay. Then you mentioned a compactor. Does Valley have a compactor?
No, that was a suggestion from Mega, where the trash would be picked up, placed into a compactor at High Rocks at their expense, and Mega would be able to pick it up every 2 weeks.
Or a compactor, okay.
We're not going to take care of the internal issues of how they're going to get it from the units out. I mean, that's,
Any more than we take
Not
care of the
forget
internal
curbside
issues, how
pickup,
people
yes.
roll their
Keyword.
trash barrels out to the sidewalk. I get that.
right.
But it's, the density of 120 plus units makes it more challenging. So, Ray, I'm not going to rush on this. I want to make sure that there's adequate time. Of course, working with the solicitor, the administrator, I just want to make sure that they get provided services. And I know you do too, I know.
Absolutely, I think that they deserve it. I just want to come to the right resolution for that.
Okay.
Can I ask a few questions? And Mr. Debroisse, when you bought the condos there, who was responsible? What your contractual obligation was to be to pick up trash, am I right?
There was no contract when we bought units in there. We've gone over this, and first, not to put that question aside, I want to thank Ray for working with us.
Absolutely.
This isn't, we haven't rushed into anything. We've been working, and Ray knows, we've been communicating for months on this. It hasn't just started since the time that we started meeting in front of the council. I was told what I needed to do. I had to go back to the planning board and get the planning board to overturn something that was done in the 07 minutes, which they did, and they provided that to the town council. Then I reached out to the town administrator, and he said, well, you got to go to town council. They give me direction. If they say to pick it up, we'll pick it up. Now, I understand that the town administrator doesn't want to accept the responsibility of the cost right now in the middle of a budget season, and I understand that part. Now, back when the developer built this stuff, to answer your question, he dangled the carrot in front of the planning board on a number of things, and trash was one of them, saying, let me build 120 units and we'll do our own trash. And that was when it was the developer. The developer's not involved in the building anymore. He has sold all his units, and now it's transferred over to just the association is the unit owners. So it's not the developer anymore. So he's out of the picture. So we're looking at...
There's no way that you can go after him for a breach of contract, is that so?
No, there's no breach of contract. It was a
So you knew it was going to end up sooner or later because you were from.
No, nobody knew any of this until I started doing my own digging as to how this all came about, why we were doing our own trash and why we didn't have the town trash. And then all this came to light in the 2009 minutes for the planning board.
In the other condos, you know they can wheel out a barrel,
I
etc.
understand
So that made it easier when they went into contractual, they got that done for the town, number one. Number two, were you working with this before the last budget? You know, the time would have been at budget time, where we'd allocate the funds at that time. If it was then, trust me, I'd be right with you.
Yes.
But I feel that time has to be taken to make sure everything's done, and you know, Mr. Pendergast has lots to do. You're a taxpayer, and I appreciate that. And if it comes before us at budget time, it won't be rushing anything. And what are we, just about February? We're going to start in May. The budget committee will come forward, and the numbers he comes up with that time, we can put it in without taking. I know there's a little fund aside, but it's not much. And if we have 4 months, approximately 2,000, you know, it's something that wasn't there. And if we have anything major, it will affect things.
And believe me, I understand this. I understand the budget cycles. I've been doing budgets for over 30 years, so I understand all that. What I'm asking, besides going forward come July 1, is when we met with Mega out there, they did say that that one of the ways to do this right now would be to sub that pot out to Valley Disposal. By them doing that, they've already talked with Valley Disposal. Valley Disposal has already given them a better price than what he's given us. How? I have no idea. But he's already given them, we paid $29 a container to remove, and they already offered $26 to Mega. Mega's your contractor. If Mega started doing this now, it's already a cost savings to the association by doing that. Now, you know, and we talked about the 2009 thing, and I don't want to rehash that whole 2009 agreement, but back then it was, that agreement also says there was only supposed to be 120 units in this facility. There's 128. So the town's allowed 8 additional units that probably brings in close to $36,000 a year in more tax revenue. We're asking right now 0.01% of what we pay in taxes to pay for the trash over there. We had a board meeting the other night. I'll throw this out there even now while we're talking about money. First, I know Ray and I chatted just briefly this afternoon. According to our numbers, our fees right now, our monthly fees are less than $1,400 a month for trash. And that's going with the higher rate that Valley Disposal has, not the lower rate. So we're at 29, they offered 26. That 26 can come down a little bit more if the town allowed Valley Disposal to dump under their cap. So we're paying at a commercial rate, we can go down to the municipal rate. So that savings can be brought down even more. We're asking to allow for those savings to happen now. At our board meeting the other night, what we'd be willing to propose is if you at least allow Ray to finish doing the working with this, and I think that that 26 can go down, is we would give the town a check to cover it, just that you've already shown us a savings by going through your contractor, who is our contractor. And I have no idea how that works, but that's what it is. That we would cover the cost. We would pay the town, but if at the end of this fiscal year, without playing with the money, if Ray has extra money that it's not snowing today, I'm sure that budget's going to continue looking good without stealing it and going someplace else, you refund that money back to us and say, we ended up with a surplus. I know Ray's on the shoestring budget, we all are, but we're willing to take the step forward and say, we'll help. By you saying yes, you're saving us money. And then if Ray has that money and it wasn't stolen for something else, not stolen, used for something else, that it gets reimbursed to us, even if it's a partial. So we're willing to put our hand out. We're just asking for help and to continue looking forward come July 1, that it continues. And Megger, who, you know, is under negotiations with the town, says that they don't see a problem with subbing this out to another contractor who has the means to empty out our containers. It is a unique situation. It's not like a typical homeowner wheeling it out, but it is 128 homeowners that we're trying to take care of here. So that's what we're asking. And I've been doing this for months on this, trying to step every which way possible to make sure this is done correctly.
I have a question about funds that, and this guy, if he can cut, you know, if he can use every dollar he can so that if there's anything, something else within his department can be fixed, utilized, because that turned, he's turned that place around so tremendously.
I understand that. But
I'd like to see, he's making this struggle, and it's going for use, and I don't think it, I have questions with money being given back after a short while. I'll be there budget fighting for you, but I feel you should have been at the last budget.
But that would have been fine, but unfortunately at that time I wasn't aware of how this was all done. I've only been on our board for a limited amount of time, so this is, I understand with me, it is what it is. I've been asking, I've been doing everything that I've been told to do, going through everything for the residents. The residents know that I've been coming to every meeting, and I keep them apprised as to what's been happening at every quarterly meeting. And I haven't said anything negative about the town. Everybody's been great to work with on all this. Believe me, I appreciate all that. I'm on the other side, so I understand how this works. I'm just saying that there is a potential that you could be saving us money now if you just let us into the system. And Megger, which we met with, Ray and myself, met with them on Friday at our facility, and they don't have a problem not using their own people by having Valley Disposal doing the work. And I think that, again, we're at $29 a container. They said they could do it for 26. I think if the town would just say, and this happens all the time, that you can put some of the cap aside that you have extra for Valley Disposal, whether it's 400 tons a year, whatever, towards High Rocks, that 26, I'm sorry, will go down a couple dollars more. And now you're showing the residents there that you're trying to, that you're helping us out with the problem right now. And again, I say it every time I'm up here, we pay over $500,000 in taxes. We're asking for 0.01% back just to help us out. We get absolutely, and I can't say we can't, we get absolutely nothing, because that would be lying. We get recycling, which we're very grateful for. Ray saw how good of a job our residents do. We take a lot of recycling out of there. And we have a couple of children that are in the school system. Other than that, there's nothing that we get. We live on an island, unfortunately.
I have a question.
Sure.
On your island, is there another building that they're proposing apartments?
They're going through in front of the planning board for apartments as rentals, not condos.
Okay, so those rentals cannot be a part of your condo trash pickup.
Correct. Well,
The
way.
unit owner, that becomes a commercial property that they have to get
They
their
are.
own trash disposal.
Right, so we have a very unique property over there where we're residential, we're commercial, and then we're overseen by a master board too. But there's a working businesses all, 5 days a week out of there, plus 128 units, plus the 38 rentals that they're proposing. And these are very small rentals. They're from 450 square feet to 1,100 square feet. They're micro rentals.
Okay, will that be a
No,
separate?
they would not be part of any of this. This would just be
Okay, so they
for-
are separate. They would not be adding their trash to your
Correct.
trash disposal.
Right now, all the commercial deals with all their own.
Okay.
Their own. And they already have 4 condos in one of the part of the building that's theirs that they deal with their own trash on.
Okay, thank you.
You're very active, and I've been trying to go to the meetings with these new apartments going up. Your developer was supposed to meet a percentage for affordable housing.
Well, now, we're getting way off track.
Yeah, I just want to tell you,
Those
they're
are
coming into
issues-
this.
Those are different issues that we're dealing with.
Well, it's
Well,
not
we have
you.
issues, and I'll be
You're-
there
you're-
Thursday nights talking on those issues also.
Because your people call me and they say, how come? And they talk about the trash, and they think you're doing a good job by it. I really, and there were a lot of old people. Oh, maybe it's because it was my era. They're leery about little things, and I told them I felt at budget time it'd be a great time to do it because that gives you plenty of time. It's 4 months away. It gets things worked out, so it's not done half, it'll be done completely.
I will tell you, this will be the last time I come to bother you on this.
No, you're not
thing.
bothering me. You're a taxpayer.